Greetings from the broadcast facilities at Grandview University. This is the NextLevelIowa.com podcast. I am Jim Kirby, and I am here along with Mike J. This is our second installment of the Next Level Iowa podcast, where we are tracking all of our Iowa native athletes, taking their talents in track and field and cross country to college and beyond. Mike J. is our co-founder and our co-host today. You might remember his voice from the Drake Relays and the Iowa State meet. Mike is joining us from Columbus Junction. Mike, it's great to have you.
Oh, Jim, my pleasure. It's an outstanding opportunity we have here to bring Iowans up to speed on what's going on in track and field.
Well, we had a great weekend out there in Eugene, Oregon for the NCAA D1 National Championships. How did our Iowans do out there, Mike?
Oh, it was a great weekend. You know, we opened up even a little more than a weekend. Opened up on Wednesday, and Betsy Sena of Iowa State won the 10,000-meter title on Wednesday night, and she had two teammates in the field, Danny Stack and Megan Nelson, who prepped at Cedar Rapids Xavier and is an All-American as well, and coming off some real late-season injuries that it was just bad timing for Megan. But Sena won the meet. Danny Stack finished in 14th, and Megan Nelson finished 16th. So Korea, NK women running very well. The Aquaro sisters from Iowa State were there running the 400 hurdles, the 800. They did not make it to the finals. The University of Iowa had a number of athletes that ran on Wednesday and moved on to the finals as well. That would be the 4x1 and Justin Austin in the 200. Ethan Holmes of Clinton did not make the finals in the 400 hurdles, and Jordan Mullen of Atlantic did not make the finals in the 110 highs. For you and I, they had Daniel Goris and Paige Kanoto in the multi-events. They had great performances, but did not earn All-American status. And Jordan was a Monticello native, who was the Missouri Valley Conference and Drake Relays champion for you and I through the disc. He did not make first-team All-American status either, but had a great performance for the Panthers. The discus. Gabe Iowa also through the discus for the Hawkeyes. So it was an outstanding opening day on Wednesday, and then we went to Thursday, and Thursday more events moving on to the finals that were run on Saturday. Shelby Houlihan moved on to the finals in the 1500. We'll touch on that here in a minute. Drake's Isaac Twombly qualified in the hammer throw. And if you remember, he qualified to the indoor championships in the weight throw. He was not an All-American, but a great performance for the Drake Bulldog. Majesty Tutson, who prepped at City High through the discus for the Iowa women. Brendan Doherty, who prepped at Bishop Heelan in Sioux City, led off Notre Dame's 4x4 team. They did not advance to the final, but what an outstanding 4x4 field it was at Eugene. 20th place out of 24 ran 3:10. So just incredible how many good quarter milers there are in this country.
So
Isaac was a great story. Isaac Jim was a four-time 1600 champion for Charles City and qualified in the 1500 for the first time for Liberty, and came in after having run two PRs, but did not advance to the final, but had a great season as well. So then we move on to Saturday's final. Friday was preliminaries. Not many Iowans competing on Friday in those prelims. But we go on to Saturday, and what a great day that was for Iowans. In Shelby Houlihan earning All-American honors in the 1500, getting 7th, and a great race between she and Amanda Murgart of Utah, who was 3rd. The top 7, Jim, were separated by 1 second.
Wow.
And what's magic about that race between she and Murgart is Shelby prepped at Sioux City East, and Amanda Murgart is coached by Kyle Kepler, who prepped at Webster City and ran at UNI, and he also coached Shelby's sister, Shayla, in the steeplechase in a post-collegiate career. So a lot of Iowa flavor there in that women's 1500. The Iowa men went on to earn All-American honors in the 4x1 with two Iowans in that quartet, Ethan Holmes of Clinton and Tevin C. Mincy of Southeast Polk. So it was a great weekend, a great 4 or 5 days Iowa in Eugene.
Well, we had a lot to be proud of. Our Iowa kids performed well out there. I know Shelby, had her eyes set on capturing that crown in the 1500. And even though she might have been disappointed in her overall place, I saw some pictures. We got them online in one of our stories on nextleveliowa.com, and she still had a big smile on her face. And I think Iowa could be really proud of people like Shelby Houlihan.
People were hoping that with Katie Flood's victory last year, we would have Iowans winning back-to-back titles, but getting beat by less than a second, that's pretty impressive. And for Shelby, she earned All-American honors in cross-country this year, and then to make the NCAA indoor meet in the 800 and then come back and run the 1500 outdoors. As you know, Jim, being a distance coach, that takes as much mental toughness as it does physical just to train and race all year long.
Right, and somebody like Shelby who's able to stay at that level for so long, her and Amanda both, and we should be really proud, and I think a lot of people really need to realize how difficult it is for kids to keep training at that level and to be able to perform at that level year in and year out. Really takes a really special kid.
And that's why you see kids that it may take, upwards of 5.5 years to use up all their college eligibility in track and field, because at some point in time, they need to take a redshirt season and just take a break, whether that be a redshirt from indoor or outdoor or cross country. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Shelby take some time off next year, just as Katie is this spring. Their season just gets so long, right. And Shelby's going to be here in 2 weeks to run in the USATF outdoor championships in the 800, and then cross country is ready to start.
Right, and that's the thing about distance runners. They go from cross-country season, and they kind of have a little break, but they're right into indoor season, and then it doesn't take too long, and then we're into the outdoor season. So it really is a long year for those distance runners.
Yeah, it is. And more Iowan, Jim, I want to mention is Megan Glazer from Sergeant Bluff Luton, who's at South Dakota, Iowa's only full-time Iowa high school high jump champion. She earned All-American honors, and it was great for Megan. She finished 6th in the high jump, and so another Iowa All-American, and after an outstanding high school career, and now at South Dakota, and just doing great things.
Well, here's another Iowa connection. The Kansas women won the team title, and guess who's going to Kansas next year?
Yes.
Lydia Saga, a senior at Valley, just graduated. She's on her way to Kansas, and I know they're looking forward to having Lydia there, and maybe they'll have another repeat. The Jayhawks will come back and win it again with Lydia.
Yeah, we've had some Kansas connections over the years. Most recently, Courtney Jacobs, who prepped at Atlantic, went to Kansas and had a good career as far as the Big Eight. It was the Big Eight at that time, and now Lydia Sagow is going to step in, and they're hoping to defend their title, and hopefully she'll be a part of it.
Mike, you mentioned the USTF, that Shelby's going to run the 800 next weekend. What do we have to look forward to when the USTF comes to town and runs on the Blue Oval?
Well, it's amazing just the caliber of athlete that is going to be here. And people that came to the Drake Relays this year and saw the London Games rematches got a taste of that. And it's going to be that and about tenfold, because all the top Americans are going to be here trying to earn one of those top 3 spots to make the world team that'll go to Moscow in August. And we're going to have some Iowans here, along with Shelby. Tyler Mulder, who prepped Unity Christian, won an NCAA title at UNI, will be in the 800 and be one of the favorites to make the team. He was 5th in the 2012 Olympic trials in the 800. Eric Sawinski, who was an All-American at Iowa and a big champion, will also be one of the favorites in that 800 after setting the American record in the 600 indoors this year. Bethany Praska, who was a Big Ten champion, All-American at Iowa in the 800, will be in the field as well. Amanda Mergart from Utah, I'm sure, will come back, and Kepler will be coaching her in the 1500. Chase Madison, who prepped at Newton, was an All-American at Iowa State and Kentucky in the discus. Will be throwing the discus. So there's going to be quite an Iowa flavor in many, many events. Lolo Jones not to be left out. Well, that 100-meter hurdle field just gets better and better and stronger and stronger. And Lolo's got her work cut out for her, but she's a 2-time Olympian. She loves to run at Drake, so I would not count her out.
You know, Mike, there's also going to be some outstanding high school races. I know the 3,000 meter is going to be there. Carissa Schweitzer is going to run in that. So there's going to be some outstanding high school athletes that are going to be competing alongside the college and professionals also.
Well, you know, that's one thing great about the U.S. Championships. The U.S. Juniors, which is for athletes 19 and under, are also a part of the competition, and their competition starts on Wednesday with the combined events, and we'll finish up on Saturday. But it's going to be just outstanding events for all ages, for all interests in track and field, all events. And, you know, we just can't say enough about people needing to get to Drake Stadium to support these Iowa athletes and track and field in general, and just to show the track and field world that Iowa is worthy and deserves a chance to host the big meet.
You know, Mike, on our website we had a four-part story. Ben Lindeman talked about, Eugene, Oregon is TrackTown. That's what it's known for, and they have all the national championships and the Olympic trials. And here in Des Moines, we've made some great progress on getting some of those races here. He wrote a story about comparing the two and talking about what we need to do to entice the NCAAs and the Olympic trials to the Blue Oval down at Drake Stadium.
You know, and Ben probably touched on a nerve or two with that story, but there was a lot of truth to it. You know, Oregon, and I've said this for years, it's an unlevel playing field, but more power to them. You know, they have Nike's backing, an open checkbook, if you will, and they put on a fabulous, fabulous show. The best of everything from entertainment out in the fan center to just the everything that goes on around the track in the periphery is amazing. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's something that Drake may not be able to duplicate 100%, but it's something that we can improve upon and something we can get better at. And the first thing we need to get better at to prove to them that we're worthy is to fill the stadium.
That's right. And we need to get down there. And I was talking to our kids today. We had a running camp today at school. And younger kids are getting excited about it. They know a lot more about track and field. They know about the Jenny Simpsons. And, of course, Lolo Jones being from Des Moines. And even people like Mary Kane, a high school runner that's having such a sensational year, doesn't hurt. And those kids, they know about them now. And they're big fans, and they follow the sport more than they ever did.
Oh, yeah. You know, it was and it's amazing. And they can just rattle off statistics and that type of thing. And to have those kids and that caliber of athlete come to Drake, where our Iowa kids are exposed to that, is something that, you know, many of us have never had the opportunity to do when we were that age without traveling a great distance. So it's unique. It's a great opportunity, and I just hope that each and every track fan in Iowa takes advantage of it.
Mike, in our closing minutes here, we don't want to forget about our kids at D2, D3, and NAIA. They had a great season, too. We talked about it last week about some of the outstanding stories, but these kids are kind of now taking a little break here, except for the ones that are running USTF. Who are some of the kids you're looking forward to see next year?
Well, you know, that's the great thing about our small colleges in Iowa. The high percentage of their roster is made up of former Iowa preps. Wartburg women defended their Division III title this year with a roster of about 90% Iowans on it. The Wartburg men are always in the battle. The Central men have really, really stepped up in cross country and track, and they're led by former Iowans as well, like Drew Jackson, like Eli Horton, like Cole Decker. So, you know, and Eric Larson, the national champion in the decathlon. So there's outstanding track and field at the high school level in Iowa. Many of them stay in the state and compete at Division III and NAIA, like the Morningsides. You know, they defended their title in the 4x8 this year with 4 Iowa kids. Just great things going on around the state in track and field.
Right, Mike, I want to thank you for joining us here. We're running out of time. I want to thank Mike J. for joining us from Columbus Junction on the phone. That wraps it up for another edition of the Next Level Iowa podcast. Join us here again next week and every week as we continue to track and cover our Iowa athletes as they take their talents to college and beyond. You can also find us on Facebook and, of course, keep track of us, all of our Iowa athletes, on our website, www.nextleveliowa.com. For Mike J., I'm Jim Kirby, and we will see you at the start line at nextleveliowa.com.